Hi guys, welcome back to April After Dark. Happy Halloween series! If you couldn't tell from some details in the background, I am reviewing the brand new It that came out nearly a month ago. And I have actually seen it twice. I did see it the very night that it came out. I had to purchase tickets weeks in advance to get a good seat and to be assured that I would get to see this film on opening night. We went to the theater where I go, Alamo Drafthouse. They actually had a bunch of these posters up on the walls. They had red balloons all over the place. They had shoes that looked like certain characters, like there were rain boots, there were white sneakers, there were Converse, like little shoes with a balloon tied to it, and they also featured a bunch of crazy, goofy, weird clowns. People dressed up as clowns, parading around the theater, trying to scare you, trying to get a reaction out of you, taking pictures with you. They had free popcorn, the old school style popcorn, and so it was very, very, very salty. It was hard to eat. And the other thing was that they had somebody painting your faces to be clowned up. So it was really fun. That's one reason that we love going to this theater, because of all the thought and production that they put into each film, especially on opening weekend. So, question is, did I love the film? Did I hate it? Was I about it? What did I think? I absolutely loved this film. Would not have seen it a second time if I didn't love it with as much emphasis as I do, but oh my gosh, it was brilliant. I have read the book many years ago. I am back to listening to it again, and I love Stephen King. I love most of his books, and I love most of his adaptations that are made into film, but this was seriously, it blew, for me anyway, and I am not taking anything away from Tim Curry or the 1990 miniseries, because I still will always love that film. But this brand new one is my absolute favorite. Bill Skarsgård is my favorite version of Pennywise. I loved that the film took place in the 80s as opposed to the 50s. I was actually born in the 80s, so the 80s is very nostalgic for me, and that's one of the reasons that I love Stranger Things, is because it takes place in the 80s. It's just so much goodness in the 80s. I just love it. So I absolutely fell in love with the idea that this one took place in the 80s. It's a very long film, but as you guys know, the miniseries, it was a miniseries, so it was obviously very long, and the book is, I mean, thousands of pages. It's huge. So they really did it justice by making the film a long film, and this one only focuses on them when they are children. They have already confirmed that there will be a chapter 2, which will go back to when they, it'll revisit the kids when they were young and try to get them to remember things from their traumatizing childhoods and Pennywise and all that good stuff, and as adults. When you saw the miniseries, it combined both, so I think it's going to be pretty amazing. How many times can I say pretty? I really can't say enough good things. Reading the book, there are some things that were different in the film that, you know, weren't in the book, the way that it was portrayed in the film. And that is some of the interests of some of the children. Mike Hamlin, I believe, he was actually the one that was a history buff, and you know, they gave that feature to Ben Hanscom, who is the quote-unquote fat kid, who was absolutely, I mean, all these kids were absolutely adorable and amazing and really did a phenomenal job in this film playing their roles. I really love this film too, because to me it felt more like the book than the 1990 miniseries did. And I just love Bill Skarsgård's version of Pennywise. It just, I don't know, it's like he really toned it down from what Tim Curry's was. It wasn't as, I mean, it has its silly moments, but I mean, Bill Skarsgård is able to do this really wicked looking thing with his eyes where, and you'll probably notice this if you go and look back at some of the trailers or some of the scenes or pictures, but one eye is looking directly at the camera, the other eye is looking off in the distance, and he's able to do that on his own without the use of CGI, which absolutely saved the director tons of money. But it creates this meta fear in all of us. Like, it's weird, it's creepy, and it's very, very unsettling. So hell yeah. I loved the music that they added in this film, and I also really love the humor. I mean, I don't think this movie brought so many emotions out of me. There were a million times I was laughing. There were times that I was startled. There was times that I was like having this overwhelming sense of dread. And there were times that I nearly started crying because of how great the acting was. It was just so freaking good. I do plan on seeing it a third time. Yes, a third time. Just because I really, seriously, I loved this film. I loved it so much. I just love this one so much more than the other one. And honestly, I would even dare to say it's one of the best adaptations of Stephen King's novels. The movie did such a good job of portraying each of the kids' fears, which is so important to do. You know, I love the themes. I love how this film really showed you that fear is different to everybody. Everybody has a different trauma or fear. And Pennywise knows that, so he becomes what you fear the most. And that was something I didn't really capture too much in the very first film, and it's probably just because I was younger, to be honest with you, but this film did such an amazing job of portraying. Pennywise is not, his favorite form is to become a clown. He's not even really a clown, and with his eyes doing that weird stuff, his teeth doing the weird stuff, like getting all crazy. And I know that there was a lot of CGI in this film, and I know that usually that is a hot button for a lot of horror fans. People hate CGI, or some people were saying that it was overdone in this film, and actually I can understand that, but it didn't bother me. And usually CGI really bothers me because sometimes I don't deem it necessary in the film. And I think for what they used it for in this one, it was necessary, and it really added on to the story and to what Pennywise truly was trying to portray. So it did not bother me. I loved it. There are so many favorite scenes in this film. I loved the music in the film. I loved how long it was. There's nothing that I don't love. Even the scene where, and I've actually seen it in some really goofy memes, but where Pennywise is dancing and he's appearing to Mike Hamlin and he's dancing, he's doing this really weird clown dance. Something about it is really unsettling to me. It's funny, but it's unsettling because his face just looks like it's staying with this one expression and it's not a happy expression, and then he's doing this really goofy clown dance, Pennywise the dancing clown. I don't know, I love it. He really does seem like a creature, and his biggest fear is that you don't fear him, and they really did do a great job of that. I just loved it. I love the Losers Club. Seriously, these kids are amazing. They did such a good job portraying them and really adding life and depth to each of their characters. Did you not notice that the adults were like so creepy and weird and just absolutely downright terrible in this film? I hated these adults, each and every single one of them. They don't act like real adults. So it almost seemed like Derry is just, it really captured the spirit, or the the very bad spirit of Derry, and how these kids had to overcome that. It's just, oh, I hated those adults, man. I can't wait for chapter 2. Duh. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry that it's late. I wanted to add it into October because I do plan on being Pennywise for Halloween, so trying to get into my You'll Float 2 mode. So lame. Anyways, let me know if you have seen it, what you thought about it, whether you yay or nayed it. I know it's kind of a divided thing, but I mean, it broke records. It broke records for Reagan's movie, The Exorcist, so gotta give it some credit there. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Happy haunting, stay scared, and have a very creepy night.